Yo, what's up, Bob here. Welcome to the Bobcast. That's right, the videos where I just talk about whatever is on my mind. I'm still here quarantining like everyone else, on lockdown. Record stores are closed. People are sick. Some are dying. And I'm just trying to do the best I can to not get sick myself and keep others from getting sick. So I've been hanging out here at the house, listening to records mostly. And, mostly listen to a lot of funky stuff. If you watch my last Bobcast, you would know that I showed the Funk Pack, and very funky group of records. And this is probably going to be not much different than that. But let's get some important stuff out of the way first. Joe Diffie recently died. They said it was from the coronavirus. If you don't know Joe Diffie, he sang Prop Me Up Beside the Jukebox If I Die back in the 90s. Great tune. I really like Joe Diffie. That's a very unfortunate situation. John Prine is very ill. And of course, we lost Bill Withers. Last week, I showed this, boom, Grover Washington Jr. Wine Light, because it has just the two of us on it. And talked a little bit about how much I love that song and Bill Withers, and then he passed away. So this week I've been listening to this Bill Withers Greatest Hits, just the two of us, and Soul Shadows. This has all the funkiest Bill Withers stuff, including one of the funkiest tracks probably ever recorded, Use Me. Bill Withers wrote this incredible tune, James Gadson on drums, and it is just incredibly funky track. And I can't urge you enough to get on YouTube and look up them performing it live. It's tremendous. And this record has a bunch of awesome stuff. Of course, Ain't No Sunshine, Lean on Me. So it turns out I didn't really need to get the Grover Washington because just the two of us was on here. But I think this one actually, because this is just like a comp, I think this is where the song originally comes from. And I think it sounds a bit better on here. So, yeah. Grover Washington Jr., Wine Light. Also, at night and stuff, when I can't rock out too loud, I've been listening to this a lot. Cannonball Adderley with Bill Evans, Know What I Mean. Yeah, the unparalleled and basically otherworldly Bill Evans. Man, I don't know how that dude got what he was given, but he's just an incredible player. And Cannonball Adderley, also incredible. This is a fantastic record. They do a really, really dope version of Waltz for Debbie on here that just sounds so good. This whole record is fantastic. This is a mono on Riverside, first pressing. Beautiful sounding record. Yeah, Know What I Mean. Cannonball Adderley on Riverside. Been listening to this quite a bit. It's probably one of my top 5 favorite jazz records. Let's get into the funky stuff. Let's do that. Boom. Thundercat, Apocalypse. Thundercat's got a new record dropping. It actually dropped a few days ago. And I had pre-ordered a limited edition, like pretty pink vinyl copy of the record from Rough Trade in New York City. But of course, Rough Trade is shut down right now and they're not really shipping. So, yeah, not getting the record. So, I've been listening to this and constantly watching the video for Dragon Ball Do-Rag on YouTube. This is a fantastic record, though. Tron song is on here. You might have heard that. Special Stage. There's just a bunch of really killer tunes on here. And, it's on this cool red vinyl. Yeah. This is a great record. All the Thundercat stuff is really fantastic. As a matter of fact, he hangs out with a whole crew of just killer musicians, including Kamasi Washington. If you're not familiar with the West Coast get down kind of group, you should familiarize yourself with it right away. Ooh, bump the table. Now, let's get into a bit of an upgrade copy here. Everybody knows this. Billy Cobham's Spectrum. This is my original copy I've had for a long time. And when I got it, was rather, it's a black record, and as we've discussed in the past, black records show a lot of wear, really easy, ring wear and stuff like that. And this is a very popular record. As you know, the tune Spectrum, Jeff Beck has been covering that tune for years. Let me put it in this crappy old 3mm sleeve here. Yeah. And it's on, your typical 2-color Atlantic label with this kind of dope Karma inner sleeve. But I finally, shortly before I was quarantined, found this. Boom. Near mint. I mean, this thing doesn't have a mark on it. The vinyl is incredible. This is PR pressing, and it's as near mint and as an open record can be. And this is such a funky record. So incredibly funky. I mean, crazy funky even. But yeah, super funky tracks in this. Insane drumming, of course. You're talking about Billy Cobham. And, everybody on, all the personnel on this is just killing. Killing. The bass line to the song Stratus is played by Lee Sklar. You know Lee Sklar. He's an old dude with a big, long, white beard. And no one really associates him as like a super funky guy. He plays with Phil Collins right now. But nobody's sitting there going, I bet you that's Lee Sklar on bass. But it is Lee Sklar on bass on Stratus. And it is a crazy funky bass line. It's like, and then you may, it's a serious situation. So yeah, Lee Sklar, a legend. Now, speaking of really good and impossibly funky, I mean, seriously, it could be the funkiest shit ever. I mean, ever. I mean, everything that Stevie Wonder does. Boom. Songs in the Key of Life. Yeah, man. I've been listening to this. Holy shit. Okay. First of all, I wish. Wow. Come on, man. I mean, dude, you want to talk about rocking from start to finish? Just feeling something in your bones. If you watch me and Dylan from Noble Records, I did kind of get into how there's an internet conspiracy that Stevie Wonder can really see. But you'd have to ask him. But the reality of it is I don't know if he can see, but I do know this. This dude made some of the funkiest music that has ever existed on this planet, okay? And a lot of it's on here. And, this is, Isn't She Lovely is on here. This is a beautiful record. It's a double record. If you don't have it, you got to get it. You got to get it. You got to get it. Songs in the Key of Life, Stevie Wonder. It's some stuff. It's some real stuff. It's incredible. Bam. Been listening to this so much. So much. Herbie Hancock, Speak Like a Child. Now, this is an incredible record. Ron Carter on bass, just a phenomenal record. Beautiful record. I'm a huge Herbie Hancock fan. I got this a while ago. Came out on Liberty, so it's a Liberty. And real nice condition. It's a beautiful record. I've been listening to this. Really, really good. Really good. Jaco Pastorius, the greatest bass player who ever lived, did a cover of Speak Like a Child on his first solo record. And it is a fantastic version of the song. Of course, every song on that first Jocko record is a straight up heater. So, Herbie also plays on the Jocko record, so yeah, it's serious business. Speaking of killer bass players, bam, been listening to this quite a bit. Victor Wooten's Palmistry, yeah. Saw Victor not long ago and got this record off of him, and it is a real killer record. Talk about virtuosos playing some killer stuff. This is it. Just on a custom label here, Victor holding his Federa bass. Yeah, very cool stuff. It reminds me of a story. Now, I may have to change some of the names to protect the guilty here, but I got a little bit of time. We're only about 11 minutes in, so I figure, why not? It was about 1999, and I'd met some new dudes via the music store that I was hanging out at, and they invited me. I didn't know them real well, and they had invited me to go see Bela Fleck, the banjo virtuoso. Yeah, it's Kentucky. We do that. We go see banjo guys. And it was Bela Fleck and the Flecktones. And Junior Brown was opening. If you don't know Junior Brown, he plays a thing called a git steel, which is like half guitar, half lap steel, sort of. And he plays all this kind of country stuff with like some wild Hendrix licks and things. Really cool stuff. But most importantly, Victor Wooten was on bass in the Flecktones. And I thought, yeah, I got to go see Victor. I don't know if I'm going to have a lot of chances to see Victor Wooten. So I thought, yeah, I'll go. And so the fellow who was working at the music store, he said,
yeah, pick me up at the store and we'll ride to my buddy Louie's house.
And hang out there before the gig. And I said, sure, okay. And so around, 5:30 or something, I swang by the music store and picked up my buddy, and we went to his friend Louie's house, which I had just met recently. And it was me and about 4 other guys. Their names are unimportant. And they proceeded to do what people do before concerts. They produced a large sack of weed. And, probably about, some some very, very large buds in the bag, probably about this big. I would say it was somewhere around maybe a half ounce a pot, okay, in this bag. And we're in the kitchen, and they're breaking it up so they can smoke it out of this pipe. And, this is back in the day, kids, when weed was illegal everywhere. It's still illegal in Kentucky, by the way. And as they're about to light this bowl of weed up, another brief acquaintance that I had met just recently comes running through the door. We'll call him Carl. And Carl comes running through the door. Now, when Carl gets excited, he talks in a high-pitched voice. So he runs in and he says, "Dude, they're after me." And then Louis says,
"Who's after you?"
And then he says, "The cops." Now, little digression here. Carl was actually being set up by the police and would later be vindicated and released. But at the time, that was beside the point. So he comes running in. He says, "Dude, they're after me."
"Who's after you?"
"The cops." Then Louis says,
"Then why did you come here?"
"I have no place to go, dude." That's when Louis grabs his sack of weed, shoves it into Carl's chest, and throws him in the bathroom. He says,
"Dude, eat that weed and do not try to flush it. If I come in that bathroom and that bag is just swirling around in the bowl, your ass is mine."
And he comes back out. About that time, the cops are pulling up out front. So we're all getting mighty nervous. People are hiding pipes, shoving things in their pockets. And Carl comes walking out of the bathroom like 20 seconds later. And Louis says,
Did you get rid of the weed?
and he says, yeah, dude. And then Louis goes in there. And there the bag is in the toilet, just swirling around. And all of a sudden, I see Louis reach in the toilet. And he pulls the bag out. And he comes walking into the kitchen. And he says,
It's God. You know, Carl.
and he pulls the big, huge buds drenched in toilet water out of the bag, wrings them out, and shoves them in his mouth. And he's eating these nugs. And he swallows them. He goes like that. I swear, that's exactly what happened. And he swallows them. And then about that time,
Police, open up.
and then Louis says,
He's coming out.
and then they try to come in. And Louis does something I've never seen anyone do in my life. He takes his foot and plants it heel first, bam, and puts his toe against the door and blocks the cops from coming. He says,
He's coming out.
and then, for whatever reason, Carl decides to take this moment to tell us a bullshit fact. He says, dude, they stamped a rabbit on my report because they know I'm a runner. And then Louis is like,
Cut the shit, Carl.
and he throws him out the door. And then the cops put him in the handcuffs. And they took him away. Like I said, he was being set up. He was later released. That said, then we all got into my car and went and seen Junior Brown and Bela Fleck and Victor Wooten. And they played some of the most mind-expanding shit I've ever heard in my life. I mean, we're talking, Victor Wooten was doing bass spins. I mean, flipping it around and catching it. Junior Brown was shredding on the Get Still, which, by the way, I think that guitar was stolen recently, and I hope he got it back. And, you know, Bela Fleck, being Bela Fleck, he's a total virtuoso and a hell of a banjo player. Playing electric banjo. Future Man was there, which is Victor's brother, playing this crazy looking electric thing. It was a fantastic show. Louis, on the other hand, was having a super psychedelic evening because he had eaten, that's right, a half ounce of toilet weed. Until we meet again. Bob out.